that comic book and video game and other media.
Yeah.
Like rather than just like the strict humor. You know, they're really leaning into the genre fiction.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Genre elements.
Check that out.
Yeah. You know what else you got to check out?
What's that?
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Pixel It. My name is Kevin. With me, as always, is Phil. And today, we are continuing on to the hard contact.
Hard contact, not the soft contact.
Not soft contact. Hard contact. We're talking, what's the name of the book?
Oh, Star Wars Republic Commando?
Republic Commando, not Republican Commando.
No, that would be
not Montana Commando. This is in Far Cry 5.
That could be something though. Like we could work that. We could make that into something.
We could make that happen.
I think we'd have to.
We have to.
Yeah.
Republican Commando. So, I mean, it's a war book. We're doing it. We found out the reason why Karen Travis's military service has worked out so well for her in her writing career. So far, it's got a very good, and we also, based on everything we've read, I think we can also assume that she's had more than one existential meltdown in her life. Yep.
Because she knows her way around those.
She knows her way around an existential meltdown. Just before you ask, folks out there, we did reach out to Karen Travis for an interview. She politely declined because she no longer does media tie-in work and doesn't really want to, get into that.
Fair enough, man.
She's like, fair enough.
It looks like she's semi-retired. She's been doing this a long time, and she also pointed out she's like, I haven't. I wrote that book a long time ago. I don't have a lot of recent developments to offer.
Going on
you,
20 years since this book came out.
Totally fair. Totally fair. If someone contacted me for their podcast and asked me to talk about a story I wrote 20 years ago, I'd be like, okay, like. That was all right, fine. Like, so
Are you willing to go on to a podcast to talk about your starring role in the award-winning short film Recessaire?
Yes. What a movie. Good Lord. I sat while they put on Day of the Dead makeup on my face for half an hour. It was wild, man.
The wild time.
Wild times. Back in our film school days.
Film school, huh?
Yeah. That sounds counterproductive. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
15 goddamn years ago. What?
Yeah. Although that one was a weird enough movie that if someone wanted to talk about that one, I'd probably be like, yeah, I got some stories about that.
Yeah, I can talk about Recessaire.
Probably talk about that one. What do you say, Kevin? You want to put this body in the marsh?
Let's put the body in the marsh.
Big fucking dog, man.
Okay.
But before we do, Phil, what are you drinking there? What's your beverage?
Oh, this is apple brandy.
In your IUP cup.
Yeah, my IUP cup. Show me your IU penis. It's the old alma mater. They have yet to recognize me in the alumni magazine for my important contributions to podcasting and schlocky horror fiction.
What?
And I'm shocked. I know.
I feel like if I told my alumni magazine, they would be more than happy. Well, first they would say, "Who are you?"
Yes. They're trying to open like a medical school for the rural community or something, like
over here, fancy.
Come on, over yourself, steel belt, rust belt. What am I talking about?
Phil and I both went to Rust Belt schools, just in different corners of the state. I went to the University of Scranton, which it's a mining town, but there ain't that much mining going on.
I went to the Indiana University of Pennsylvania in a little town called Indiana. One of our rivals was California University of Pennsylvania, outside of Pittsburgh, in a little town called California. IUP
California,
being the alma mater of 2 out of 3 of the developers of Night in the Woods.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Poor Scott Benson. Did you see the news?
No, what happened?
He has a heart failure issue.
Oh.
He's basically forced into early retirement. They've stopped.
That
They've stopped
stinks.
production on their new game and all that stuff. But he's yeah.
Damn. Well, feel better, Scott. Like, take care of yourself. Taking care of yourself is way more important than putting out another goddamn game. Just see to your heart, my friend.
That's right.
You helped make Night in the Woods, which is still one of the best goddamn adventure games of all time. So there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that was a fun moment where I actually reached out to a couple of them and I said, this town you guys have this set in, it's old, Western Pennsylvania, Rust Belt town. It makes me think of my time in undergrad at IUP, and they were like, "Yeah, we went to IUP. That's that's totally what we're basing this on." I was like, "Oh, well, shit. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool." So, and that's another thing. If I were IUP, I would like grab onto that and bring that up because that's a indie darling of a game, and you never see any of that in the alumni.
You never see them bring it up. They should bring it up.
It's dumb.
Alumni such as Scott Benson and Phil Killing, who look at Phil as a book
IUP.
and a podcast.
IUP.
Yeah, IUP.
Contact me about putting my book in the co-op store. You won't regret it.
I would have thought IUP's rivals would have been IUPUI.
That would make sense, wouldn't it? That would make sense. No, that's never how it works out.
I had to look up. Stands for Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis.
Yep.
It's a university created by Indiana University and Purdue University together.
Yeah.
They did the fusion
two
dance.
mediocre tastes that taste great together.
Shots fired.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, fuck you, IUPUI.
Yeah. Who do you think you are? IUP? Come on.
Yeah. There we go.
Sponsorship deal. Hey, we could get sponsored, but let's go to our undergrad alma maters and try to get some of that sweet, sweet sponsorship dollar from them. That's what we need to do.
Gladly. I mean, because you know what? University of Scranton, what else has Scranton got? The Office?
I mean, come on. That's not carrying your tourism business. No, I would happily shill for IUP. I love. My wife told me what she was like. She's
Joe
like,
Biden. Joe Biden's from Scranton. Anyway.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Damn. Okay. No, my wife told me, she was like, I don't know anyone who has as much school spirit as you do. I'm like, yeah, I fucking loved my time there. It was great. It had very little to do with the classes. It was just a really nice time in my life. That's all.
That's honestly all college experience.
That's what it should be.
If it's a good college experience, it's going to be because of the people.
It's what it should be.
Not the classes.
Yeah, don't go there and be like, man, I took a really great class on the fall of the Roman Empire. No,
Nerd.
That's not it. That's not it. Being day drunk during a football game, just that's what you want. Anyway. Body marsh.
Body has been in the marsh. It's currently sinking, but at a very slow rate.
The body is like swelling up and gases are exploding out of it. And
I mean, that guy from John Hancock is on his way to find it right now.
He's about to find it, and he's going to get sick.
Big fucking dog, man.
There's a big fucking dog, man. I'm embarrassed. Okay. Chapter 8. We are at the villa of Dr. Ovalot Quail Uthan. That is a name, as I mentioned before. Hokan is there testing the door, like the main blast doors, that guards the nanovirus and everything, and he's testing them by having the droids attempt to blow it the fuck up, just shooting at it. Like that is his test. It's super scientific. She wants to know what the fuck he's doing, and he basically informs her he wants to relocate her.
And she also is like, those doors have been tested,
right?
Scientifically.
Yeah. By not by a maniac with an army of droids shooting it. And here's the thing: she has no one to blame but herself. She gave him all of that power.
She gave him the droids.
This is her fault. So he says he wants to relocate her, but he's going to leave the droids there as guard to kind of basically act as a decoy. And he takes a little time contemplating the fact that war is all about brains and courage, and he kind of doubts that clones understand the courage part, especially, which kind of shows that he's underestimating our heroes.
He really is underestimating the clones.
Yes. Cut 2. Etain and Darman are hiding in a barn for the night. She puts her foot down. Don't call me Padawan. Don't call me Commander. And just puts her foot down. She's not comfortable with it. And he kind of goes back and forth. When he manages to miss it, she's kind of impressed. And then I think at one point in this section, he will eventually say, "Hey, listen, when we're around people, I'll do my best. But otherwise it's just going to pop out. It's just what I'm trained for."
Right.
Darman points out that Jedi have always kind of found him and the clone people off-putting.
Yes.
Yeah, and which is definitely you almost imagine her being like, what are you talking about? No idea. I also wonder sometimes if that isn't a little reference to the Uncanny Valley thing that a lot of people accused the clones and stuff of in the prequels.
Sure. Yeah, because it's just what's his name's face pasted on a bunch of different actors.
Exactly, and it is off-putting. I don't blame her. Etain shows him she has plans of basically every building in the region, which is terrific info for them to have. He's able to basically, he'll be able to look at these plans and these blueprints and know exactly where they can, push for a battle. They can retreat here. Right. They can do this. I can gas this chamber, etc. It's just really, really good information for him to have.
Yeah.
We find out that he is kind of fascinated by how Etain looks and smells.
I highlighted this line.
Yeah.
He wasn't sure if she was pretty or downright ugly. He just knew she was utterly alien and utterly fascinating, as alien as a Gadan or a Gerlanin. It was almost stopping him from concentrating on the job.
Words all women want to hear.
And then there's another part of it that I highlighted. He feared females. Now he feared his Jedi officer and was also agitated by her in a way that he didn't have a word for. It didn't feel acceptable.
Yes. I love that he basically comes out as some kind of weird incel. Right? He's just like, their only experience with women, the only women they've ever worked with are the ones that are butch enough and tough enough and nasty enough to like fight their way to the front of the Republic army. Right. And so they're not creatures that he has a lot of experience with, and therefore he's totally afraid of them.
Yeah.
It's so strange. So Etain is kind of she finds out that there are 4 of them. She's doubtful that, in her words, 4 10-year-olds will be able to defeat Hoken, which, out of context, fair enough. And Darman gets his first taste of simple, humble farmer food, just bread, and loves it, loses his damn mind over it. He basically finds a reason to fight, like in good food, and that's the most relatable thing I've ever heard of.
Right,
if a good meal will get you get you off your ass.
Is a reason to fight.
Absolutely. So let's see. Mission plans are mixed up. With Uthan's facility, with the Separatist base, they basically said where they're being sent is not where they're supposed to go. And Etain points that out. And then we hear a voice that points out that the droids, because they're worried that they're going to run into this, facility filled with droids. And then a mysterious voice from out of nowhere mentions that these droids won't be there. And you're like, oh, wow, because that's the end of the chapter. And they're going to hold us in suspense. No, it's
next
very
page.
Next page, chapter 9. Yeah. The voice is Jannart. Like, Big surprise.
And chapter 9 starts with there's actually a really cool quote at the top of it that they attribute to everybody's favorite, really tall-headed alien dude, Ki-Adi-Mundi. On the clones, there's something very touching about them. They look like soldiers, they fight like soldiers, and sometimes they even talk like soldiers. They have all the finest qualities of the fighting man, but behind that is nothing. No love, no family, no happy memory that comes from having truly lived. When I see one of these men killed, I weep more for him than any ordinary soldier who has lived a full and normal life.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. So, and Ki-Adi-Mundi, being a Jedi, he's on the council. He's one of the dudes that you see.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
He knows he's making these decisions, and he's
this shit is tragic. It is wrong. It is morally wrong, and it doesn't get any better. It just doesn't. Right. So Jannart pops up. Darman pins her up against the wall. Basically threatens her, and Etain kind of down boy. And Jannart says something like, "You would kill me? You'd kill an old woman?" And without missing a beat, Darman's like, "Yeah. if I felt the need to kill you, yeah, I'd absolutely do it." And Jannart's like, "Good. It's a very
good boy.
Good boy. You'll make a fine warrior."
Blood for the blood god, Darman.
Yeah, exactly. This is the crossover we've been waiting for. The Republic Commando working for Korn. Oh my God, they'd be unstoppable. Jannart's talking to them. She seems to know a lot about the clone troopers, and she admits that she's been tracking the other three, and then basically, as a way of explaining, she reveals that she is one of the shapeshifters.
They should be called Shanders.
Shanders, absolutely. They're like pecan sandies, but
Gary Shandling.
Yeah, they're just a lot of really good, tight, insightful West Coast LA humor. Really good stuff. Great satire. And they're also delicious with milk. And she's one of the shapeshifters, like the ones that they had met during their initial briefing. She has been leaving suggestions in their mind. So any time that we have had hinted that Etain or Darman or somebody says, like, this little voice says to do this, which happens several times.
Right.
That's not just their internal monologue or their training. It is actually her literally basically whispering in the air because they have telepathic powers.
Yep.
She gives the lowdown on Hoken to Darman, tells him what's going on, and apparently, and implies, not even implies, straight up says that she has his ear, that she's also imitating somebody around him as well, and trying to. So she's got an inside look there.
Yeah.
Let's see. So they have to start.
She also mentions that her hubby is the guy that was up on the shapeshifter that was up on the ship.
Yes, they're couples. They're a couple. Yes. So now they know they have to shift plans, and Darman immediately looks to Etain for guidance. Says because that's his training. You do what the Jedi says you're supposed to do, and she flips out and basically screams at him, "You do it. I don't want to do anything. I'm sick of making decisions. I don't want to make decisions. I'm not the leader. You fucking do it." And Darman, something shifts in him immediately, and he's like, "Yes, ma'am," and just kind of is all business and marches away. And it just you feel kind of bad for us. Like, oh man, I'm sorry I yelled. And Jannart takes a minute to tell Etain that she's got to shape the shit up.
Get your shit together, Etain.
Get all your shit, put it together, put together your shit. And it's just like basically says these guys, he doesn't know that you suck. Like she basically says, she's like, "You suck. I know that. You know that. He doesn't know that. He's not trained to know that.
Pretend that you don't suck. Just a little bit.
Do your best impression of someone who doesn't suck." It's going to get us all out of here alive. And while they're having that moment, Darman comes back and just informs her he says, well, I took your order, ma'am, and I came up with a different plan. because he took her completely literally. He's like, yes, ma'am, I'll come up with a plan. And he explains that, and then also explains that despite everything, he still has faith in Etain. It's very specific in that he has faith in the Jedi. He has faith in her ability. Right. And she chills out and is clearly kind of moved by that attitude. And she says, okay, all right, I'm going to do my best, but I'm going to give you a standing order. You are to intervene at any point that I'm about to do something that's going to jeopardize the mission. And says, let's just call me a commander in training. I'm not there yet. And I want to get there, and I will do my best. But if you see me fucking up, you need to step in and stop me from fucking up. So
stop fucking up, Etain.
Stop fucking up, Etain. Meanwhile, the rest of the squad are at the rendezvous point having dinner, and
that's what RV stands for.
Yeah, rendezvous. They're at the recreational vehicle point.
Why are they calling it RV? Right? Recreational vehicle gamma?
They don't say it, but there's they have a Winnebago with them at all times, and just it looks just like the one in Spaceballs. That would be amazing. In fact,
that would be amazing.
I will happily run that game if we play a Star Wars game and everyone picks a clone trooper and we fly through the galaxy in a flying Winnebago.
4 clones and a Winnebago.
I love it. I am in. We're making this miracle happen. So they're sitting around eating dinner and comparing stories of their old instructor sergeant when they see a blaze in the distance and realize that the Hokin's men are smoking them out. They've either found something or they're trying to flush Darman out, and they're all kind of fingers crossed that they're trying to flush him out.
Yep.
And so for that reason, they're going to stay put. And if he doesn't show, Niner makes it very clear we're going to keep looking because there's a very no man left behind kind of thing here.
Right.
Cut to Darman and Etain go over their plan. Jannart tells them to get the hell out because there are forces out there trying to find them. They need to pass for farmers.
Yep.
Which is going to be kind of tough for Darman because even outside of his armor, he's built like a fucking shit brick house. And all the farmers in this area are emaciated and underfed. So this guy's carved out of wood and it's a little conspicuous.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to find him something billowy, let's say. Something he can float in a little.
That covers up the pecs and
exactly. We don't need to see the trapezius muscles.
Yeah, we don't need to see all that. That's a dead
giveaway. Etain reluctantly unweaves her Padawan braid so that doesn't look immediately like she's a Jedi. And then kind of has a moment, a little heart to heart with Darman of I fucked up, I'm sorry. And Darman reassures her saying, look, everybody cracks.
Yep.
And it should be that way. That's how you know how far you can go. And it's important to get to that point. And it's not about whether or not you'll crack, because you will, but whether or not you can get back from that point.
I wish I had more confidence in my New Zealand accent to drop it right here.
Everybody
because
cricks.
The clones, everybody cricks.
Everybody cricks. Everybody cricks. Interestingly enough, Etain finds Darman more comforting than her Jedi Master ever was, possibly because her Jedi Master was the worst, based on everything that we've been hearing. And also Darman is absolutely a cinnamon roll. He's adorable. He's just a wonderful murderer. But he's also
just a happy little golden retriever with a gun.
Yeah, he's a teddy bear with an auto rifle. It's just adorable. So we're getting a little hearts maybe above the head.
Are we shipping them.
I'm starting to feel like that's where this is supposed to go. Nothing romantic overtly has happened, but it does feel like, are you gonna be my boyfriend? Like that might be on the horizon.
Yeah.
Which is adorable and filled with all kinds of questions.
He's just 10.
He is 10. And we can't count on him getting to 18 at this point. We just can't. So it occurs to her, and at the end of the section, it occurs to her that she might be saving clones from this virus only so they can die under blaster fire. Yeah. So it's not a terrific feeling either which way, which is, that's sucks.
In my head, I mean, I know the guy who played the clones. I mean, he's a New Zealander, but in my head now, because I know they have a New Zealand accent, in my head, it's been replaced by the agent from Flight of the Conchords.
Hell yes. Reese.
Who's also in Our Flag Means Death.
Yeah. Reese Darby, something like that. Yeah. He's wonderful. I love that guy.
If you don't crick,
if you don't
crick sometimes,
you know how far you can go. If you don't crick, that's all I've got. I don't have. I'm embarrassed. We actually have people from the Pacific who listen to our show.
Yeah. So if you listen to our show. And you aren't in the Discord, please join the Discord and just find some lines from this book that the clones say and record yourself reading them, because that would be fucking hysterical.
It would mean a lot to us.
It would mean a lot to us personally for our headcanon.
Absolutely. This is important.
This is important.
This means something to us. Cuts to
especially if it's a Reese Darby impression.
Oh, yes, please. Especially him. He's so cute. He's a little teddy bear. So Hokan and the droids are with his lieutenants. They are triangulating the clone positions based on the various pockets of bodies that they keep running into. And basically just going, okay, we found some bodies here. And that means they're probably around here. So Hokan decides that he needs some bait in order to properly make this work, and says the doctor will understand, heavily implying that she might in fact be the bait. So that's exciting. We cut to the squad. I just like referring to them as the squad.
Yeah.
Squad goals. Squad goals. They're still waiting. As they wait, Jannart approaches them. She makes a big show of kind of stomping and stuff like that. So they know that, like, she's like, look, I know you're there. You know I'm here. Don't shoot. She gives them the lowdown on Darman and Etain and the changes in plans. She basically gets them all up to speed and even offers to hunt for them. She suggests, did they ever describe what these animals were? They're like Merlins or something like that.
The Merlies, I believe. I'm assuming they were sheep.
Okay. Yeah, she says they're really good eating. You guys need to eat more because, you know, you've been here longer than you've expected to be. So you really should eat them. But whatever you do, don't shoot them. And Niner's like, why? And she goes, because I might be one of them. I'll just get some for you and drop them off. How about that?
And it's just terrifying because she goes to the Merlies at like shapeshifted as one.
Yeah.
And then she things out for a second.
Yeah.
And
true.
kills one. Like just teeth from somewhere.
And its head like fires off and it grows spider legs and starts. Yeah, it's a very John Carpenter moment. But this was a very video game moment to me. It feels like one of those, a character you acquire for your party that doesn't fight or anything like that, but they'll provide an extra food resource every night or something like that. It kind of feels like that. So Jannart gives them the coordinates for a gem mining area at their request because they know that that is a good place for them to find some explosives. These guys are explodey fanatics. They in the game Republic Commando, which I played, you have the one guy who is the specialist in explosives, and everyone's got their little thing. It feels like everybody wants to blow shit up in this one. This team is just filled with munitions experts. It's kind of hilarious. So yeah, that's where they're going to be heading to next. Chapter 10. Let's see. We see a notice that we got in the beginning. It opens with a notice warning citizens that anybody caught hiding the Republic Commandos will be killed or enslaved.
Yep.
They are not fucking around. Please don't test us. Don't try us.
Hokan is not fucking around.
Around.
Like, if he is actually, like, on the chart, like a lot of bad guys, they fuck around and they find out.
Sure.
Hokan doesn't fuck around. He's not. He doesn't want to find out.
No, it's easy to assume that he's going to find out, but
he might find out anyway. But not because,
fucking around is not a thing that he does.
Not because of something he did.
Exactly. Yes. Bingo. Exactly. It's gonna have to. It's not because he fucked up. It's because the other guy was just better. That's how it's gonna have to be.
Exactly.
We cut to Etain and Darman dressed as farmers, pushing a cart filled with their hidden gear on it. It's just like the 50 kilos worth of guns and explosives, and one assumes Swiss Army knives. That they filled it up, and they're on their way to one of the safe houses because Jannart has told them don't bother going to the rendezvous point for now. Just go to. She gives them a map with all the safe houses that she scoped out for them. So they go to the first one, and it's empty. Darman sends a remote, one of his little remote guys that got eaten by a bird recently, and it gets the all clear. They break in, and they find that anybody who did leave there is gone, and they left in a hurry.
Yeah.
So they grab some... Sorry?
And they're like, we got to keep moving.
Yeah. So they grab some supplies, move on. We get some awkward bonding scenes with them. Darman recalls kind of the tragic times in his past, and he points out that he has lost a lot of trust in the cause, and that he wants it back. And that seems to be what this faith he's placing in Etain is all about. He needs her to help him feel good about what they're doing, which, if you're following Etain's inner monologue at this point, that's not great.
That's not great.
Yeah, blind here.
That whole bit was like wild, where Darman's inner monologue, she'd catch on. She had to.
Yes.
The thought that a Jedi might be unable to offer leadership he had been promised was almost unbearable.
Yeah.
And then he's talking about all the terrible shit that's happened, and like a commando whose sniping score was only 95% and whose whole batch disappeared from training and were never seen again.
Yeah. It's crazy. And it's kind of like, it's like if you're a Christian or something and you've been worshiping Jesus Christ all your life, and you finally meet the guy and he's a 13-year-old theater kid.
He's like, I don't know what to do.
I've got to assume that would be really disappointing.
Yeah.
So they're taken in by a family at a different safe house. Darman notes that they're all very similar, but they are also all very diverse, and he's kind of fascinated by that. They're this family all living in the safe house, and he notes their similarities, but also how vastly different they are, and which makes a lot of sense when you consider the fact that his idea of family is brothers of men who are all clones of the same guy. They all look the same, have been trained in the same ways.
Right.
So the farmers want to know if the Republic is coming. But it doesn't seem like will the Republic save us kind of thing. It's just like, what's next?
Yeah.
Like, are we going to have to fucking deal with this next? There is a real sense of the civilians, like we talked about last episode, with the civilians being just like, I don't know anything about what's going on here. I just want to fucking grow my shit and be left alone. Which who can't relate with that. They feed them. Darman once again just loves the food. Etane's a little pickier. She's a little bit. It's very bland and plain to her, but to Darman, when he's like been living on like plain rations basically his whole life,
right?
Like white bread is just a feast for him, and it's adorable.
I mean, white bread can be a feast if you're in the right mood, you know?
Oh, absolutely. No, and it's just this level of bonding with him over food that we get specifically, not even that we're bonding with Darman as readers. And it works, in my opinion. It's just really cute. It adds a level of humanity to this guy. I think that's what Karen has been doing the best in this book so far. The level of humanity for these people that you kind of assume as an audience member so far, just kind of mindless drones, essentially.
Right.
So that's fantastic. Etane hears somebody coming, and it's a bunch of the soldiers, Hokan's people, and we get to watch a scene where Darman and Etane work very effectively as a team. They fight off some soldiers. Darman leaves one of them wounded and goes up very matter-of-factly and shoots it in the head, and just ends it. And Etane is kind of horrified by that and says, like, you killed him. And he's like, yeah, this is war. That's how that works.
Like I can't just take care of this business.
Yeah, we got to do this, and he has this inner monologue part, which is very telling to me. Had they given her a lightsaber and not taught her about killing, had they given her this deadly weapon and not said, "Now you're going to have to take somebody's life with this eventually," and she does kill her first person. She almost cuts his head clean off with her lightsaber, and
that's the idea, ma'am. Nicely done too.
It's how it makes me think of. I went to the Renaissance Fair when I was in high school, and these kids in front of me. This guy who clearly works there. He's got this goddamn like Zweihander fucking claymore on his back, you know, and one of these dumb kids in front of me catches his eye and says, "Dude, you could kill somebody with that thing." And the guy looks at him and goes, "That would be its purpose." You know, it's like, that's what it made me think of with this. It's like, yeah, that's a lightsaber. You're supposed to, you kill people. That's kind of a thing.
That's what it's for.
Yeah, you can say it's a symbol of office. Well, then why isn't it a necklace, a watch?
Right, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, it's actually a really fascinating like concept, because they don't like, in all of this stuff that is focused on the Jedi, they never really get into that nitty gritty. You know?
No.
And it's kind of like when you think about like the basics of like firearm safety, where they tell you, like, you know, you don't point your gun at somebody
unless you're going to pull the trigger.
Unless you're going to pull the trigger.
Absolutely.
And like the fact that's not like part of like lightsaber safety 101, to be like, you're not drawing on somebody unless you're with the intent to kill. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You're doing with the knowledge that you are going to kill somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
but they don't talk about that because they're up their asses in their hippy dippy bullshit. Yoda's talking backwards, and everyone's like, "Oh, I'm a peacekeeper." He's like, "Oh, kill some people. You might have to. Like, going to get fucked up at will." You know, like
that kind of guy's dick off once.
Yeah. I've always been short. Not my fault it was.
Like, I just imagine like some really, really terrible things that have happened with the fucking lightsabers. Like it's almost like there would need to be like the Boys level spoof of the fucking Star Wars universe.
Yes, absolutely.
Where it's just like, you know, you got these space wizard cops, and then like in training, like a kid accidentally disembowels the teacher, you know?
Yes. Because it's a goddamn lightsaber.
Looks at the lightsaber and like turns it on and puts it through his own fucking head.
Yes, exactly.
Like, that hasn't happened in the Jedi.
Tell me that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Tell me that hasn't happened. Like, Just because you're good in the Force doesn't mean you're smart. In fact, the first thing Luke Skywalker does in A New Hope is look down the barrel of the goddamn lightsaber. This shit happens. Fuck the Jedi, man. I swear to God. Fuck them.
Swear to fucking God.
Swear to fucking God. Anyway, Etain hopes against hope that she's going to get over the whole PTSD of killing a person fast. Just wish in one hand and shit in the other. And realizes that they have been turned in by the farmers who had welcomed them in.
Yeah. What happened to the farmers? Did they get fucking killed or something?
I think they just got out. I think they just got out of Dodge. It's not really specifically alluded to. And just then they are attacked by droids. Cut to the mining facilities. The squad is...
Just one second. There's a great fucking moment where he's like, hey, can you sense droids? And she's like, maybe. And then the droids start shooting at them. And then she goes, obviously not.
Yeah, I guess not. Never mind. Forget I said anything. It is great. It is pretty great. So the rest of the squad is in the mining facilities. They are infiltrating. It's kind of on an auto loop. These droids, these mindless droids, kind of like going from one section to another, loading, unloading, etc. They do find some regular guards, or what they assume are some regular guards, some Weequay, and they literally have a dummy grenade and throw it in, and while they're running from the dummy grenade, they just blast them. It's pretty great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and they take those two out and disable the droids, and then they find another.
This one, dude.
What's that?
Fucking Weequay who gets to trips or something, and is shot and trips, and it's like he's not dead, but he gets run over.
That's right. That's right. Oh my God, I fucking forgot. This droid just like and just keeps going like nothing happened. It's like America's Funniest Home Video shit. It was amazing. I totally forgot. Oh yeah, that's good. So they're figuring out that this is where a lot of the ex-militia are hiding out. These are the people that Locan has been searching for. Atton's super pumped about finding some bombs. We're finally getting to see him come out of his shell a little bit. Atton's the Raphael of the group. He's just got a shitty attitude until you offer him something that he can use, and then he's excited.
Yeah.
They find a third hiding Weequay. It is Gutane, who is the old right-hand man of Hokan, and they're not sure what to do with him. They're like, are we really going to leave this guy alive? We're going to drag him around. And he offers them everything. He offers them everything but the moon. I'll give you information on the Nemoidian boss. I'll give you information on this. I'll spill everything.
I'll tell you anything you want to know.
Yes, yeah, just and they realize that he's actually more afraid of their helmets than their guns. It's the second time in this book so far that we've alluded to the idea that they know the Mandalore symbol, and that means more to him in terms of pure intimidation than being threatened with a blaster. So they come up with a plan. They're going to split up. Two of them are going to take an excavation droid and explosives and the Weequay, and they're going to meet up with them later. While Niner gets out to Teklet, which is the communications main array of communications, so that he's going to blow that up because Gutane says that it's unguarded. Right. And if they can get rid of that, they'll be able to start using their long range comms, which has been a problem the entire time.
Right.
So the section ends kind of with them showing their faces, and it's just freaking Gutane out
because they all look the same. And then Fi or Fee. Yeah, it goes, it's Atton's face. Don't stand there being so ugly, man. You're scaring him.
That's right. Fee is the Michelangelo of the group.
He's the Michelangelo of the group.
Yes.
Which one? Yeah. I guess Niner is the Leonardo.
Very much so. Yeah. A little more likable, but yeah.
Yeah.
And that leaves Donatello for Darman, which, you know what? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I get that.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Cut 2. Farmer reports Darman and Attain to Hokan. So Hokan recognizes they're now in the house where they had been chased out of, and he recognizes that a lightsaber was the weapon that killed the Umbaran, the one that Attain has murdered. Droids find some dead locals. It looks as if they were torn apart by animals. It doesn't look like anything that the Commandos or a Jedi or anything. They have no idea what or who did this.
Who I assume is Jannard. Just
that's my assumption as well.
Just thinking out and like anytime there's chaos, I assume Jannard just like grew 2 heads or something. And
yeah, exactly. Just got her fucking Tyranid on and tore them limb from limb. I totally agree. That's almost certainly what happened. Hokan orders all the droids to guard Umbaran. Is that what it is? I can't read my handwriting here. Umbaran.
Yes.
And let's see. And then he gets word that soldiers have found 2 enemies.
Uthan. You mean Dr. Uthan?
What?
You mean Dr. Uthan? You said Umbaran.
Is that that's the building though, isn't it? Or the tent? I might have gotten some mixed up here.
Umbaran's like just one of the aliens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Anyway, but yes, I think he wants all droids heading towards there. And his soldiers have found 2 enemies, and Hokan wants them taken alive. So we get to chapter 11. We pick up where we left off with Darman and Attain, who are engaging with the droids.
Darman and Greg.
Darman and Greg, pretty much, yeah. Attain's like this weird hippy dippy chick, and Darman's all business. But somehow they make it work.
8 o'clock on ABC.
Oh my god, that show couldn't have had more than like 2 seasons. How is it that we still remember that one? It just
Dharma and Greg. I'm looking that up.
I need to know.
5 seasons.
5 seasons. Okay.
Yeah, with starring
still
Jenna Elfman and Thomas Gibson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's so
I had a
weird.
huge crush on Jenna Elfman at one point.
I was watching a YouTube video today about the history of The Nanny, and I used to watch that show religiously, and suddenly I was completely reminded of how big of a crush I had on Fran Drescher.
Yeah. Jenna Elfman, by the way, is huge into Scientology.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
If you're looking to be bummed out.
Don't be like that,
By
Jenna
2020,
Elfman.
she's on the OT7 level.
Okay.
Which is where that's where the truth is revealed.
Is she related at all to Danny Elfman?
Not that I'm aware of.
That's just not
most. No. She took her husband is Bodhi Elfman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I don't think he is the nephew of Danny Elfman.
Oh, okay.
So her husband is Danny Elfman's nephew.
Okay. I was about to say, because that's just such an unusual name.
Yeah.
It's funny that's so. Okay. Oh, Jenna, why'd you let us down?
Why'd you let us down, Jenna?
Let's see. So
Dharma and Greg.
Dharma and Greg set up an explosive perimeter to blow up some droids. I think that was in the middle of season 3. Darman finds himself kind of annoyed that he followed Jannard's advice. He really wishes that they had just gone straight to the rendezvous point instead of going to these fucking safe houses.
Yeah, 2 safe houses, which were both, fucking not good, not safe
absolute
houses.
Bust. Yeah. He got to eat a little more bread, and I'm sure he's very grateful for that. But it just, not quite the same. Let's see. The explosion that he sets off, he doesn't think to warn Attain this might be a little loud, and it basically deafens her. One of her eardrums explodes. Basically,
it's like that scene. It's like from Archer.
Yes,
and he's standing there going, "Mom." Mom.
Like, yeah, she's just, and so we do get a little of that, like, did you say I'm an asshole kind of humor, kind of like, I can't hear you.
Blew an eardrum right out of her ear.
Exactly. Just a fucking darn it. Come on, man. They have another droid. They see another droid that's coming towards them, so they're prepping themselves, getting ready, and then they hear some voices off in the distance, men and a familiar voice discussing what to do next, and it's Hokan, and he calls off the search, which doesn't make any sense at all until Etain tells us that she actually did a good thing and used Jedi mind powers on him and influenced him to turn his ass around.
It's a great moment because so she goes, I didn't think I could do that. Do what? She stared at him. He took off his helmet. Do what? Influence them, both of them. Was that some sort of Jedi mind trick? And she's like, it's a Jedi mind trick.
It's a Jedi mind trick, yeah. It's a Jedi mind. Yeah, I'll just tell you later. She's
and
pitiful.
then he puts the Bacta pistol into her ear and sprays. And I have it highlighted. The last part of the scene is Darman had no idea that Jedi could curse fluently in Huttese, but he was learning more about them every minute.
It's
lot
beautiful.
More.
That's a great way to end that section. I think we can all agree that Etain is the worst Jedi ever, but I'm really enjoying these sections with her more and more.
Yes.
So this is fantastic. We cut to Niners outside of Teklet. He is watching all the droids, and he has got what I believe in the military you refer to as a metric shitload of explosives.
Just so much ordnance.
So much ordnance. He's riding a droid and just basically does a Mr. Toad's Wild Ride into the Teklet, and filled with explosives. And it occurs to him that the bomb's going to kill a lot of innocent civilians, but he doesn't have time to worry about that. Way to go, Leonardo. Good Lord. He sets the explosives, and he's trying. He doesn't want to die. He's going to try his best to get out of the way, but he is totally good with, like, if this kills me and restores the comms links and everything, then that's totally worth it. Although they make a point, and they've done this several times with the clones. It's like, I don't want to die. I'm scared half to fucking death. But if it's got to be this way, it could be worse. He rides that droid full of bombs and hops off of it and blows Teklet to shit. As
he's running away, like some slack-jawed yokel is like standing nearby, and he's running away. He just like pushes the guy down.
Yeah. Fuck you. Just
and keeps running. And I'm like, that guy's dead.
Yeah. Niner, Jesus. Like
Leonardo.
Yeah. So that's the plan from our great leader. Oh, man. Everyone watched the original 1989 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. You'll be glad you did. We cut to Hokan. He's trying to get support from the Separatist CO. While he's doing this, a droid reports that Teklet has been destroyed. And at this point, he says, you know what? Just fuck it. All droids head out to HQ here. We're going to dig in. We're going to get ourselves dug in like an Alabama tick. And we're just gonna wait for these assholes to come for us. So he's running out of options here. So we're just gonna have to go full Thermopylae and do our best to just have a last stand or something.
Yeah.
Chapter 12. We cut to Niner after the explosion. He is miraculously unscathed and happy to be alive. He uses the long-range comms for the first time and basically reports back to the squad and everything. We're going to meet at the next RV and then kill some Trandoshans or Trandoshans, whatever they're called. We cut to Etain.
He shoots one. It was something like he shot one. the speeder it was driving crashed.
Yeah.
The other one got out to check. He hops on the speeder bike and kills the other one.
Right, you're right. It's like the moment that the other one starts to realize what happens, he gets plugged. It's pretty great. Let's see. We cut to Etain. She wakes up in a shelter that she and Darman are at. Darman's outside, kind of pacing, doing rounds. She's really preoccupied with the soldier that she killed. She's having some issues with that. Darman gets the word from the long-range comms that the squad is on their way, and he's super excited. He goes full golden retriever. It's goddamn adorable. Yeah, he's really, and she even says at some point, like, she doesn't say, but like in Etain's inner monologue, it's like I can't see this guy's face, and I can tell he's just like grinning like an idiot.
Right.
He's just very excited. She refers to them as her brothers, and he corrects her. They're not my brothers. They're the brothers I'm with now. All of our original brothers. Gives her the lowdown. All our original brothers died and everything like that. And It seems really casual to Etain. She's kind of horrified with how casual he treats this kind of tragic backstory. And then he just explains to them, how they're trained. And it's just like, look, we see people die all the time. We see people we really like die all the time. And we just don't have room for too much sentimentality here.
Yeah.
We have let's see, but we do get kind of a what are we fighting for sort of moment. What is this all about? Why are we even bothering?
Right.
And it's getting cold. It's getting chilly. And I like this moment. Darman kind of says, I know a way we can warm up. And Etain immediately is like, it's this clone trooper want to finger me? What the fuck's going on? She's kind of like horrified, but at the same time, like, it's like, it's the Brittany Bosky meme of just like, like, so she thinks it'd be sexy. And he comes back in with like a big metal rod, and he says, we need to lightsaber spar, basically. You need to get better at lightsabering.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And so she's like, oh, that is totally what I thought you meant.
Yeah. No, Etain thought he wouldn't have meant that at all. She was suddenly embarrassed that she even imagined he might.
Yeah. But also ready. So she would have.
And then she's like looking at her nails. She's like, ugh.
yeah. She's like, oh God, he wouldn't want me anyway. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. So they spar a little bit. He really kind of pushes her, and she ends up actually hurting him, like really getting him in the neck, I think, with his
right.
And she feels kind of bad about that, but it shows that she's got some chops. She's
got some stuff going on.
Yeah.
She's still a force user.
Yeah, exactly. She gets to know Darman and his comfort level with death. He explains to her his accelerated age is gonna get him killed as he gets older, and not even because he is going to become an old man and die, but just that eventually because he's getting older, his reflexes are going to slow down, and he'll be the weak link, and he'll get picked off. There's no retirement plan for these guys.
Right.
There's only one way for them to end. They see some bugs. They see a bunch of the bugs, the ones that he was so fascinated with in the last episode. And he's just kind of fascinated with them. And she explains to him that they're called day wings. And essentially, for us in this planet, in this world, they are mayflies. They come out of their cocoon in the morning, they mate, and then by the end of the day, they die. And she's kind of like, and based on the circumstances of what he was just talking about how he has so little time to live,
right?
She feels like she's being insensitive, but he seems really transfixed by them, and it's a very lovely moment of them watching these kind of firefly-looking bugs. It made me think of there was this, I think it was a Tumblr thing. Somebody was talking about the idea that if you watch Lord of the Rings or something, the idea is that the elves are functionally immortal and humans live only so long. And they say it's kind of like humans and dogs, if you think about it.
Right.
Like a dog to us, to them, we must seem basically immortal, that will live forever and that kind of thing.
Right.
And it's a similar feel anyway.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We cut to Lick Ankit. His villa is getting converted.
Lick
Ankit. I keep calling him Ankit. Ankit's villa. It's just a terrible name. Lick Ankit.
His villa's just getting ripped to shreds.
It's getting turned into a fort, and he is pissed. He is so pissed.
He's like, that's the hardwood floors. What are you doing here?
Yeah. They said something about like, well, the architect would understand. He goes, no, that wasn't carved by an architect. That was carved by an artist, you pleb. Like, he's just, he's so pissed. And if that isn't bad enough, Hoken explains to him, this is all a diversion. This isn't even like...
Yeah, this isn't even a thing. This is
this is all a diversion. We don't really need to do this. But I'm only telling you that because fuck you. One of his lieutenants, Lieutenant Harati, asks if Hoken wants him to search for the Republic commandos. And Hoken says, you know what you need to do? You need to keep an eye here on Ankit. And we also find out that... this lieutenant has basically probably disappeared. The other lieutenant,
right,
that he had also been working for him at Hoken's suggestion, and we get this really funny moment in Hoken where it's this kind of this fascinating paranoid thing where he's like, oh yeah, he's very good, and he followed my orders. He's to the letter. He's doing a great job. He better not get too good. Like he
was eager to obey. Hoken decided he would have to watch him.
Right. It's just it tells you everything about this guy. It's like he is never going to have a good second at any point because it's always going to be you're just in this position until I have to get rid of you in one way, shape, or form. And that's chapter 12, and that brings us to the end of this section. So, Kevin, what are you thinking so far?
I think I really like the segments with Darman and Etain the most.
Yeah, me too.
Them playing off each other is just adorable. Etain's mind going immediately to the gutter in that one scene.
That is such a good scene. Yes,
such a good scene.
Yes.
It's like, so good. And she's like, I don't know.
What? Don't look at me like that. What? Get out of my room. What do you want?
Did you bring a, you know? Did you bring a...
Do you guys have that kind of thing?
Do you have penises?
Do you do that? You smooth like a Ken doll down there. I feel like that would be effective. That would be easier. You want like that army in Game of Thrones. You want a bunch of eunuchs. That would make a lot more sense.
Yeah, they're Ken dolls. Clone dolls.
Clone dolls.
Clone dolls.
Clone dolls. Got the whole set. This clone doll is a doctor. This clone doctor. This clone doll is a beach.
This clone doll is Alan.
Yeah. I love it.
I'm liking it so far. It's got a lot of really good stuff, and it is, and I've mentioned it before. It's probably the best like example of in the Star Wars universe. One of the best. Hey, war sucks, you know.
Yes.
Like, and also the Jedi kind of suck, and also the Old Republic was like not necessarily on the right side of things. Here.
We're not saying that the guy with the glowing demon eyes and shit is a good guy or any of that shit, but none of this is great.
This is great.
So I totally agree. This is a very, very thorough debunking, essentially, of a lot of the old standard black and white good guys versus bad guys kind of shit.
Right. Yeah. Sith versus. And honestly, it makes more sense if you look at it like this. By the end of episode 3, you find out that the Jedi and the clones and everybody have been fighting for the Sith all along.
Yes. Yeah. It does make a lot of sense.
It suddenly reframes it like, oh yeah, okay. That does reframe it of like they were the bad guys.
This sets it up as more inherently sinister from the get-go.
Right.
Which, yeah. So, yeah, totally.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
good
Yeah, well,
times.
that's I'm enjoying this too. Same reasons. I like the military combat. I love the Dharma and Attain section so far. I'm really enjoying this enough that I might try to get this on the calendar for next year at some point for the next book.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
If only because I just want to keep going and see how this goes.
see where this goes. It plays out. Yeah.
But having done all that, Kevin, I have a single question left to ask you, and that is, what are you playing?
Oh, what am I playing?
What are you playing?
Shit. Fuck. I don't know. I didn't think about this at all.
No, I know. This one I came out of the blue.
Okay, so
that's half the fun, you know.
First off, the thing I've been playing pretty consistently over the last few weeks, months, Marvel Snap. I just unlocked. When this episode comes out, he will no longer be in the spotlight caches. I just unlocked Gladiator. Today.
Yeah.
He's kind of a dumb card, but also kind of fun.
Okay.
So what Gladiator does, and for those of you who don't know, in the Marvel universe, there are people like, who's Superman in Marvel? Well, in terms of like power level, there's a few of them, right? There's Sentry, who is going to be, I believe, they just cast Steven Yeun as Sentry for the Thunderbolts movie, which should be interesting. So there's Sentry, and there's another guy named Gladiator, who's basically Superman, but he gets his rocks off on just fighting the strongest people he can find.
Yeah.
And so his card in true Gladiator fashion, when you play him, he calls out a card from your opponent's deck, and if that card is weaker than him, he destroys it.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay.
So he's a 3/7 that does that. So
oh wow, all right.
It can like sometimes it works really well, sometimes it backfires, and
sometimes you bring out some gigantic badass.
Sometimes he calls out the Infinite, you know?
Right, exactly. Okay. That's kind of wonderful. That's fun. That's really fun.
That's a really
there's
fun
a level
card.
of randomness to it that's really neat.
So like things you can do, you can play like Zero and turn off his ability, but that's lame. The real way to do it is you put him in like a Shuri deck. And so you make him go from 7 to 14, and then he could still call out the Infinite and lose.
Yeah. I love it. That's fun.
He's just like, he's basically, he doesn't do anything that like Yondu doesn't do. Like, and right. Yondu kills a card without any risk of accidentally playing it.
Right. Oh, Yondu. That's a good card. Excuse me.
So, yeah, but still, he's fun to play with.
3/7. I mean, that's
3/7 is pretty good.
That's pretty good. Like to have that high of a power on him and maybe possibly blow up one of their cards. That's a roll of the dice that might be worth it depending on your deck.
And then you can drop an Odin on his lane and make him call out another card if you want.
Yeah.
Or if you play him into a lane that's full, that your opponent already has full, then
that's good. That's good.
There's no call out. So and a little when he doesn't kill the card, a little text box pops up over him. It's just like a little curse censoring.
That's awesome. That's fun. I could see myself having a lot of fun with a deck like that. That's interesting. Yeah.
Why not? He's a destroy card. So
yeah.
All right. What else have I been playing? I went back to Lies of P.
Okay.
Because I was really frustrated. There was a boss that I was having trouble with. I decided to like come back around and do another try at it. I still haven't gotten past the boss, but I'm just grinding when I don't have anything else to do. we're watching TV or something, because I can play it on my Switch, not my Switch, on my Steam Deck.
Steam Deck, yeah.
So yeah, I got Lies of P. I beat RoboCop Rogue City.
How was that?
So it was weird because it was the game was yes, this is awesome, 3/4. It kind of dipped down where I was like, I'm getting a little bored, and then it picked back up again.
Okay.
So yeah, solid 7 out of 10.
Okay, nice.
Kind of what I expected.
Yeah, that's kind of that publisher's name of the game anyway, so that makes sense.
Also, I have been playing a little bit. Reopened up Cyberpunk 2077 because I postponed it, playing it just because there's other things. The Phantom Liberty
yes
DLC. So I started a fresh save file, so it's probably still going to be a little bit until I get into the DLC stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I love that game. It's a lot of fun. Just the world and all that stuff. It's great. Fuck. What else? So many things. I've been firing up World of Horror. I've decided that because World of Horror finally is full released this year. It's getting on my Game of the Year list.
Nice. That's great.
Because it hit 1.0. So I was like, you know what? I know it's been in early access for 5 years or whatever, but whatever.
I'd say that counts.
Baldur's Gate 3 was in early access for years too. So
yeah, I'd say that counts.
I think it counts.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing. What have you been playing?
Well, Micro Civilization dropped, and it's been nothing but that.
What is Micro Civilization?
That a few episodes
a
ago,
microbrewery?
I mentioned it, and it is a 4X clicker game.
Oh, that's right.
And I played the demo, and I put 3 or 4 hours into the demo. I'm 20 hours into this game. It is it's so much fun. I'm enjoying it so much because it hits a lot of my buttons. Obviously, the 4X aspect of it. There's a simplicity to it. It has a beautiful art style, a very simple but gorgeous art style that I like. And you just ascend your civilization at different points. And then you collect points at the end of that run and can unlock different things for the next go around. You start again at the Neolithic Age slowly.
Yep.
I've been making up my way consistently to World War I at this point. And it makes me think of a lot of games. But the first one it makes me think of is Loop Hero.
Okay.
In the sense that it has enough automated stuff that it's relaxing, but it has enough challenge to it that you stay on top of it, and you can't just walk away from it. And in that sense, it also reminds me of Vampire Survivors. It's very much the Survivors version of a 4X because it's very, very good at giving you that fucking candy over and over. Like you get your rewards, and it makes you feel good for playing it. I'm hitting the feed pellet all the time. It's
Ooh, piece of candy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not going to be for everybody. But damn, I put some hours into it, and I've really found myself enjoying it just as kind of a chill, lay back and kind of relaxed kind of game. But at the same time, again, it's got some really interesting choices art wise. I feel like it's going under the radar with a lot of people. So if anybody here.
It's interesting. I'm looking at the art style right now, and it's very you know what it reminds me of in terms of the art style is when in the old Civ games when you would upgrade your castle or whatever it was, and it would cut to that like side view.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like, it looks like that.
Yes, it has very much that in it. Absolutely, I totally agree. And I think the thing that also works for me, and we've talked about this before, I think, one of the most intoxicating things about certain kinds of role-playing games and also strategy games is just starting over. How much fun it can be to like, you get really high up in a level with a guy and they go, I want to play a first leveler again. They do that a lot in games like WoW and stuff like that. And this game is built for that. So the moment I feel like, me personally, the moment I feel like I've gone so high in the abilities of this civilization that my attention or interest is starting to wane, I ascend and I get to start over with new powers and stuff like that.
Right.
That is all I've been playing, and I've been really, really enjoying it. I'm taking part in NaNoWriMo right now, and I'm like 33,000 words into a new book. So
does this book have the blood mechs in it?
No, that came. I'm gonna have to plan that for the next one. This has actually been fascinating. This is for any of our writers out there. Writers are divided into the camps of people who sit down and like write out an outline and all that stuff, and then the people who just kind of go with it. And I'm usually the person who goes with it, but I usually have some plans. I have notes and stuff. This was an idea I came up with like the day before I started writing it, and every day that I've sat down has been an exercise in literary improvisation. So I'm really having a lot of fun with this. So that's
it's like jazz, baby.
Yeah, just improvise. See where the notes carry you, baby. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been having fun. So yeah, that's it.
That's it. And that's it for this episode. But before we go, I want to tell you about a special place on the internet where you can give us money.
Do tell.
And if you go to pixelitpod.com, just type that into your URL, you're going to be teleported across the interwaves to patreon.com/pixelitpod, where you can sign up for not one, but not two, not three. Actually, there are three tiers.
3 tiers.
There's 3 tiers, 4 if you include the free one.
Yes.
You can sign up of one of 3 tiers to show us your monetary support. The first tier, you're just like, hey, we love you. And then the second tier, you get bonus episodes. And then the third tier is we call you out on the episode. And
we call you out.
Today, as we do every episode, since they have become our friends, we're going to say thank you, friendly friend.
Friendly friend.
Thank you, friendly friend, for being a friend.
Thank you, friendly friend. As always.
As always, thank you. Otherwise, you can follow us on Instagram, Twixter.
That's good.
The Blue Sky. Mm-hmm. We have a YouTube channel where all the video versions of these, and you can go on the YouTube version and see like when I haven't shaved enough recently. You can like measure that out, because this is too much for someone who's going bald. This shouldn't be. This is too much hair. You got that Ray Stantz, you got that Dan Aykroyd baldness going on. That Bill Murray, look at that.
You make it work.
I'm making it work.
That's a
widow. That's not a widow's peak. That is a widow's tower.
That widow has long ago died herself.
Widowed, widower.
Yeah.
Widowing.
Widowed.
But that'll do it for tonight's episode. Thank you so much for listening, everybody, and have a good evening.
Bye.